Tesla is down almost 2% today, and I have all of your Tesla stock breaking news that you need to know. Indonesia's coordinating Minister of Investment said that Elon Musk will consider an offer to build an electric vehicle battery plant in the country after Elon met with President Joko Widodo on Monday. Elon Musk is also confirming that this area of glass on Giga Texas currently will have a water-cooled supercomputer cluster, which this is clearly for full self-driving. It's probably also going to be used for Optimus as well. Elon Musk also says that the roof will be fully covered by solar, except for the word Tesla, which will be gently outlined in light so you can see it at night from airliners coming into Austin, which in my opinion, that's pretty dang cool. TSMC, that mass produces Tesla's Dojo AI training tiles, is eyeing a 40x power boost by 2027. Now that could be a big win for Tesla. Incentive for both new and existing customers. They're offering a 3,100 miles of free supercharging to the first 140 customers who order a Tesla vehicle before June 20th, 2024. The U.S. auto safety regulator has closed a probe into more than 100,000 Tesla Model X vehicles after the automaker issued a recall to fix front seat belt failures, the NHTSA said on Monday. Tesla has released a new video on their main Tesla X account, encouraging shareholders to vote in their annual meeting of stockholders. Tesla's FSD supervised V12.4 has started to roll out to employees, and it has no steering wheel nag, according to Not a Tesla app on X. When enabled, the driver monitoring system now primarily relies on the cabin camera to determine driver attentiveness. For people that are still stuck on V11, hang in there. Elon Musk says V12 is coming soon. Elon Musk says it should be very rare for anyone to be on older versions of FSD after the 12.4 rollout. We have to sync up vehicle software. There's way too many hardware variants with FSD. 84,000 Tesla shareholders at Avanza Bank in Sweden can now vote in Tesla's shareholder meeting after the bank made an exception. Avanza said, "We have received many requests to be able to vote. Normally, we do not offer the opportunity to vote at general meetings outside the EU, but we have made an exception in this case." Tesla shareholders at Nordnet can now vote in Tesla's annual shareholder meeting. Tesla Boomer Mama on X did do this survey of individuals and asked basically, are they able to vote and what companies are they, trying to vote through? And there were quite a few people that said they were unable to vote. Now, Martin Visha responded to this and said, "We went through the full list." He says that every company on the list does not hold U.S. shares directly, but through a variety of intermediaries. As a result, even if a broker would be able to figure out how to pass on voting instructions to the ultimate U.S.-based holder on a one-off basis, such process would be different for every broker. We continue to work towards some near-term solutions. Giga Shanghai production was 63,711 in April and as low as in February with China's New Year. There is a clear downtrend since the record month of November 2023. Wholesales was in line with a lower production, so the calculated inventory doesn't change much. This is probably one reason why Tesla stock is falling today. Elon Musk is now following the president of South Korea on X. Federal Reserve officials expressed varied opinions on the current state of inflation and the necessity of adjusting interest rates. San Francisco Fed President Mary Daly sees no urgency to adjust rates due to uncertainty about inflation's trajectory. Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic expects continued moderation of U.S. inflation, but anticipates higher steady-state interest rates. Fed Governor Jefferson notes that while inflation is declining, it is not happening as quickly as desired, and the labor market is improving. The overall sentiment suggests a cautious approach to monetary policy following focusing on allowing restrictive policies to address inflation. Raphael Bostic said today the new steady state of interest rates is likely to be higher than what people have known over the last decade, maybe back to where we were in the 1990s and 2000s. This speak from the Fed today is putting upward pressures on 10-year Treasury yields today. 10-year Treasury yields are up about 1.5 basis points to 4.43%. I can also say that is not helping Tesla stock at all. Fed Mester says risks that were too restrictive have gone down. She says we can hold rates or even raise them if inflation against expectations stalls out or reverses. Fed Bar, which rarely comments on monetary policy, said Q1 inflation was disappointing. It did not provide the confidence needed to ease monetary policy. Target says they are going to lower prices on about 5,000 basic goods as inflation sends customers scrounging for deals. It's not exactly a sign of a strong economy if you're needing to cut prices. This could be a trend that starts that actually gives you a good deal of deflation, which deflation is bad for everyone. When deflation happens, well, think about it like this. If a company is selling a TV for $300 a unit, a TV, and now they're forced to cut prices down to, let's say, $250 per unit, that's less money that company is bringing in. That's less employees that company likely needs. And you start to get a lot of layoffs if you start to get falling prices. Gary Black writes on X, all these nervous Tesla bulls running around warning that shareholders may not approve Elon's 2028 comp plan, which would cause Elon to leave the company. This is insane fear-mongering at its worst. In my honest opinion, Tesla shareholders will overwhelmingly approve Elon's comp plan in 2024, just as 73% approved it in 2018, before the 8x Tesla value creation of 2018 through 2024 versus 1.6x for the NASDAQ. Just pay the man what is due to him. Gary Black says, for the record, my firm voted for Tesla's proposal number 4 to ratify the 100% performance-based stock option award to Musk that was proposed to and approved by our stockholders in 2018. Which is interesting. Gary Black's talking about the 2028 comp plan because we still need to get through the 2018 comp plan. But I don't see any reason why investors would not approve a new comp plan for Elon. That doesn't make any sense to me. Because a new comp plan put out by the Tesla board and subsequently will be up for voting here probably some point this year, it's going to have high tiers like $3 trillion market cap, $5 trillion, $7 trillion, whatever the numbers are. It's going to be very hard things to achieve. And that just means that Elon is going to be working for you as a shareholder. I have zero concerns about the next comp package getting approved or not. I mean, the only reason you would not approve a new comp package from Elon is if you don't want to make money. And if you're a Tesla shareholder, you probably want to make money. I actually think that could be a very bullish catalyst for Tesla when we get the new comp package, when we see where the board thinks Tesla can ultimately go. Tesla's stock still has a multi-year high short position, 3.87% free float is sold short. You have $19.03 billion currently in short positions or worth of short positions with 107.25 million shares that are currently sold short. Option activity today by big money is quite positive as well. You have seen 40 orders totaling $3.98 million with a positive order value of 70%. Google Trends data for full self-driving is falling to 26, not the lowest you have been recently, but still a lot higher than where we have been historically, right? You are kind of starting to trend in the 20s to the 30s, which is a lot better than trending in between 6 and 15 for the majority of the past year, but also the last 5 years. Here you can see Google Trends data for the Cybertruck continues to march higher. It's basically up and to the right ever since about late January. You're now at 78. Model Y search trend activity has fallen from 46 to 42, but still very strong levels of searches for the Model Y. The Model 3 is staying right at about 24, so seeing some pretty consistent search trend data over there. All of this is suggesting that Tesla's Q2 is probably going to be on the strong side. I would argue probably better than Wall Street's expecting. Here today over on StockTwits, even though Tesla's stock is falling almost 2%, sentiment is very bullish, a big uptick in sentiment. Now you are at 71 on this sentiment barometer over here on StockTwits. Yesterday you were at 57, which was bullish yesterday, but a lot more bullish today. Message volume today is on the low side, but better than it was yesterday. The number yesterday was 37. Today it is 44. And the participation ratio is also ticking upwards about 2 points to 57. Markets fear and greed indicator over on CNN is at 64. That means you're in greed territory. Market momentum is in greed. Stock price strength is in fear. Stock price breadth is fear. Put and call options, extreme greed. Market volatility is neutral. Safe haven demand is extreme greed. That is the difference in 20-day stock and bond returns. And junk bond demand is neutral. You are seeing a 0.5% of all stocks out on the markets today that are falling under their 50-day moving average. That's not really a big deal. You've chugged up from about 27% of stocks above their 50-day moving average all the way now up to 61% of stocks above their 50-day moving average. This puts you back to about the beginning of April. Now, if we do see a broadening out of our markets, this is going to go higher. And a lot of people are calling for a broadening out of our markets following NVIDIA earnings. As I talked about in the last video, we do have earnings this week. Today and after hours, you will have Palo Alto, Zoom, Trip.com, James Hardie, Nordstrom, Keysight, Transcat, Toya, Beam, and Hesai that will report. Tomorrow, pre-market, you will have Zim, Macy's, Lowe's, AutoZone, Biomex, Xpeng. Xpeng could be one that could move Tesla, but that's probably just about it for this week. NVIDIA can obviously move Tesla as well. Toll Brothers reports Tuesday after hours. Pre-market Wednesday, you have Target, TJX, and Analog Devices. And then Wednesday, you have the big dog NVIDIA, but also Snowflake, Elf, Synopsys, and a couple other companies. Thursday pre-market, you have Ralph Lauren, TD Bank, Polestar, and others. And then Thursday, you have Deckers Brands, Intuit, and Ross, as well as Workday. Looking at the charts for Tesla, you are finding support at the 20-day moving average. That's great. I think it's undecided whether or not we'll hold above this or fall under this, especially given the catalyst that we have this week. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in the next video. But you're either going to see a pretty large break up or down this week. I would be surprised if Tesla just kind of hangs out at these mid 170 levels throughout the entire week. You're going to get a lot of volatility and you're going to get a large move. Now, beyond that, if you do see a fall for Tesla, then your 50-day moving average is the next level to be watching around 170, closer to about 171. So that could be an important level of support. Resistance is still around 180 to 181. So whether or not we can, hold above the 50-day or get above the 180, 181 level, I think that's the biggest thing to be watching for right now to see if we get a continuation in one direction or the other. The RSI is at 51, which is almost exactly neutral, and your MACD line is still positive, but barely. The MACD line is what looks like curling downwards and likely going to break under that blue signal line, which is a signal that the stock could fall further. You're not quite there yet, but if you get another red day, you're probably going to be there. Nvidia is up about 3%, and this just means that if Nvidia has another strong couple of days heading into their earnings, you really want to watch out for that post-earnings Nvidia sell-off, which could be quite nasty if this pace continues over the next 2 days before earnings. TLT is down marginally today, about 0.14%. Oil is down 0.32%. That is great. And the dollar is basically flat today. You also have a mixed bag for your big tech names. Meta is down 0.5%. Amazon is down 0.5%. Google is up 0.5%. And Apple is up almost 1%. So some stocks are doing well. Some stocks are not doing as well. It's kind of just a mixed bag out there. And I'm still very bullish on Tesla. And even for this week, if Nvidia does have okay earnings, which is my expectation, they meet expectations, then you're probably going to see a broadening out of our markets. You probably will get a sell-off in Nvidia that could be a big positive for other areas of the markets. And that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think about all of this information down below in the comment section. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Before we end this one off, if you guys want to come trade with us live in real time, check out that link down below in the description of this video as well to join the trading community. You guys have a good one, and I will see you in the next one.